Phoenix Down Radio is on the air.
Welcome everybody to Phoenix Down Radio, episode number 98. We are getting really close to 100, aren't we, guys?
I'm stoked for episode 100.
It's going to be fun. We've got some ideas.
Is so high.
No, it's just another number. We're in a third digit.
Yeah, see, I say that. I say, oh, it's only significant because it's got a bunch of zeros and it's a base 10 counting system. I do my mathematician employee thing, but inside, oh my god, I'm sweating.
The fact that we're still here.
Yeah.
You know, I know a lot of the other podcasters, they're way beyond 100 right now, but the fact, we're hitting 100 because we do it every other week, which means we're close to 4 years on this.
Oh my god.
That we've been doing this podcast
really
every other week for almost 4 years. And we're still going. We still have people coming to watch us for some reason. We still have people downloading the podcast out on iTunes, on Spotify, on Google Play, all those places. And it blows my mind. So thank you, everybody. We're working on something special for 100 in a month. So stick around for that. Beyond that, how's everybody doing tonight?
Oh, why do I have to be sitting on this couch? I could be exploring.
Because we need to take a break. We need to kind of just, take in what we've experienced so far and let everybody else know, what our hot takes are.
Yeah. Oh, I can do hot takes. Sure. Quick reminder for anyone listening, since if you've been delving into this stuff nearly as much as we have, this is a really good time to hydrate.
Yes. Stay
Take care of
hydrated,
yourself.
fam.
Yes.
Go, get up, drink some water. We'll see you in like 30 seconds or something. I don't know. How long do they need to get water and drink?
Well, depends on how far away the kitchen is or where their nearest water source is.
All right. Well, pause the podcast or I guess hurry about it, but don't chug it. Blake, bring the water back and sip on it while you listen.
Yes.
Sarah wants you to take care of yourself.
Yes. And make sure you're not eating too many salty snacks and make sure you're getting up and stretching. That's the other big thing.
How about some fresh vegetables? Have you considered some fresh vegetables?
Does pizza count?
I might be asking a bit much.
There's vegetables on my pizza. Does that count?
Right? That's what I was just going to say.
My buddy Bannon and I straight up day before scheduled pizza to be delivered on Friday night so that we didn't have to stop playing.
We'll talk about it in a little bit, but I had a great time. With 5. Go ahead, sorry.
I went in for a thing in service at work and got a good night's sleep because I was like, you know what? It's still going to be here and I can take a more leisurely path.
Yeah, I had the day off, which was nice. So,
I mean, I got paid to play Pride and Prejudice card game with our teen interns, so I'm not complaining.
I just switched my
Did you
days
play with
off.
the Zombies expansion?
No. However,
Did you end up marrying?
I ended up being an old maid, but I had a reasonably good result in my old maidhood, so I certainly did better than the person who married Mr. Wickham. Ugh.
Well, that's not hard, but yeah, that's such a good game.
I love that you know exactly which one I'm talking about here.
Oh, for sure.
All right.
A friend of mine did her dissertation on Austin, so.
Nice.
One of the things I was just going to say is with 5.0, we got more cross-world link shells available to us now. So I went ahead and created one for the Phoenix Down Radio group. If you are on Primal and you want an invite to it, just let us know. Myself, Seyrr, Taliz, Nick Nar even, you can ask them and they will send you an invite. I don't know if you noticed, I made you guys leaders.
I saw.
And other things coming up, we're contemplating, I had tweeted out last week the idea of doing a meetup with Yelta at an arcade bar in downtown, actually technically uptown Minneapolis. If you see people are interested, and it's not like there's a bunch of you who are interested in it. So sometime in August, either the 3rd or the 10th, the 10th if we can actually podcast from there. We're going to try and set something up for out there and see if you guys want to stop out, play some video games, have some drinks, meet other Final Fantasy fans, just have a good time. There'll be more details coming out, but make sure to kind of keep that in mind if you guys want to join us. It's be a good time. I don't know if you guys have been to those arcade bars.
They're a lot of fun. There's one in Portland called Ground Control. It is a blast.
Mm.
And I got a chance to meet up with Grand Pooh Bear last time I went down there. Shoutouts to Grand Pooh Bear.
Cool.
Ooh, that's fun.
I may or may not have been influenced by the idea that Rubicon and Brian from Work to Game held one down in Texas, so, and got kind of jealous of the whole thing. So
I'm jealous, so I'm going to do my own thing, but with
Exactly.
blackjack and
hookers.
beer and video games, I guess.
No hookers. Sorry. You got to go to another party if you want those, but we'll just do video games and alcohol. Next one, maybe we'll do throw axes.
Ooh.
That sounds rad. That sounds like so. I need a plane ticket. I'll be right there.
That's like the new thing in bars is you get to throw axes at boards.
They just had a thing on Planet Money about that, about niche sporting stuff. It was pretty interesting.
I've never actually done it. I know a few people who have, and they said it's a blast. I mean, even if you're really, really bad at it, laughing at each other, it's, that's what it's all about, right?
It's for the social aspect. Like, people that really like golf are going to play golf. But people that like video games, there's an awesome place in Vegas where the golf balls all have little RFIDs on them, and so does your club. So you scan the ball, or you scan a thing, it spits out a ball, you hit the ball into the scoring zones or whatever, and it tells you how far you hit and which scoring zone you hit. And there's like combo sections and targets that you have to clear by hitting all of them. It's really kind of cool.
There's actually more than just Vegas, but yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, there's one in Northern Oregon as well. That's the one I've been to.
But yeah, that's a little insane.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you enjoy that kind of thing, I mean, it's a way to play golf without having to actually, go out and play golf. Like lugging the clubs around and walking all over the place.
I don't want to walk all over hills. I don't want to play fetch with myself, but I am super down for drinking outside and driving a golf cart. I will do that. That sounds like fun.
That's the best part of golf right there.
Pretty much. And it's like, I don't necessarily need golf clubs to do that part. That's the part I'm into.
Welcome to Phoenix Storm Radio, your newest golf podcast. Not really. No, we're not going that way. Anything else you guys have been up to, well, aside from the obvious? What were you up to before yesterday started?
So I decided to spend the week taking a nice solid break from 14 because, let's be real, I'm probably not logging out for a while. So I decided to sign myself up for the 4-job Fiesta, Final Fantasy V. And I've been playing through that. I'm in World 2. I still have Galoof, so I'm not like all the way through, but like I'm in World 2. I'm having a lot of fun, and I got kind of a hot mess of jobs, as you normally do. And it's been really interesting to sort of see the game through a new lens, as opposed to here's how you turn paladin monks into unstoppable beasts. It's like, no, here's how you figure out how to make a white mage dancer ninja mystic knight party function. It's been a blast.
Mystic Knight is pretty awesome.
That's pretty much my best character. That's what Galoof is right now. Ferris is
that how
my
you pronounce his name? I always thought it was Galoof.
It kind of depends on which translation. There's Final Fantasy V was one of those notoriously awful games and OAV series that everything got translated multiple times by multiple editors, and you ended up with
right?
Yeah,
it's still butts, right? Butts. That's the problem. That being said, fun fact: my license plate finally came for my car, and it's Boko, Boko. The first number is 3. My roommate Bannon got me a license plate frame that says my other ride is a chocobo. So my license plate says Boko-san, which is the name of Bartz's chocobo, and my license plate frame is my other ride is a chocobo. So this week has been pretty rad.
Oh, Boko, you are best.
Yes.
We have dancers in the basement.
Should we spin around and take a look at them? I suppose.
Also, hi, Dolph. You waved at me. I'm not entirely sure who you are. It is good to see you.
That's Nick Nar.
Nick Nar, why though?
Oh, they're dancing in the back corner. I see.
Yeah.
He also went Cat Daddy, it looks like, so.
Yeah, he went Hrothgar on us.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny to see how many people are like, why Hrothgar instead of Bunny Boys? There's no interest in that. And I feel like I've seen 3 times as many Hrothgar as I have Viera.
I haven't, actually. I've seen a lot more bunnies than I have Hrothgar.
I'm about 50-50.
I've still seen either way, it's still a non-trivial number of Hrothgar. I think there was more of a demand there than people may have acknowledged.
Also, I'm glad that I waited, because honestly, I am not a fan of how Hrothgar stand.
Oh, yeah, they don't look like Kimari. They kind of have their own unique thing that I'm not sure how I feel about.
They kind of hunch over.
Yeah, it's okay. As the Legacy Warrior tattoo wearer, I'm kind of going, I don't know if I want to do Hrothgar or Viera because they're not legacy classes or legacy races. Maybe I'll just stay alive.
Does the tattoo even show up on a Hrothgar?
I am not sure.
Because you know that it's all fur back there.
That is a really good point. So, hey, community out here in Phoenix Down Radio, tweet at us at Phoenix Down Radio.
At PHXD and Radio.
Your Legacy Warrior tattoo is a Hrothgar.
I wonder if Nicknar has a legacy tattoo. You can maybe tell us right away. Speaking of the community and Final Fantasy XIV, I don't know if you guys heard this, but there is a live-action Final Fantasy XIV TV show in the works.
Yes.
Sony Pictures has been working on producing a live-action Final Fantasy XIV TV series. Announced earlier this week, the people who are producing The Expanse and the upcoming Netflix adaptation of the Witcher series are the ones behind it.
I'm interested, but I want Sean Bean to play our favorite elf boy out of heaven. That way he can just die again.
Aww.
Yeah, you saw that joke too, huh?
Yeah, I'm a monster. Yeah. I steal everything.
Yeah. All I want to know is, where do I sign up? I want in on this.
Where do I sign up to be an extra? I'm so in.
No, seriously, I mean, I would love to be in this.
If it's filmed in Vancouver, British Columbia,
which a lot of things are.
Exactly. Like, I know where those filming locations are, so you never know. There might be some green-haired dude running around.
It could fit, right? Your character's got green hair.
Exactly. My character's had green hair in-game and out-of-game for a long.
I mean, I could be a Highlander, right?
Totes. How much hair you got, though? I don't know if you may have to get a fake ponytail and pin it on the back of your head.
Well, yeah, they'd have to give me a wig, but I mean, I got the height. I'm not quite as buff, but I mean, well, we'll see.
Start them gains. Start lifting.
Them gains, yo. What are your guys' thoughts? Otherwise, Seyrr, you haven't said anything about that. What do you think?
About which bit? I got lost in
the 14 show.
I actually really hope they don't just use it to just retell the story of the thing, because they've done similar stuff with other properties and it just never really comes out that well. Use the world as a setting, have other adventures going on, but if you're just repeating the plot of it, I feel like that's just not going to come off as well. Because the entire point is you're the character who's making the choices. It's a lot of video game movies don't work out that well.
Okay, according to this, Sony Pictures Television co-president Chris Parnell stated, Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are the perfect gateway into Final Fantasy for longtime fans and newcomers alike. This show is about embracing and embodying all of the elements that have made the mythos such an endlessly captivating phenomenon, and it's an immense honor to be bringing all of Eorzea's iconic characters, settings, and concepts, including fan favorites like Cid and, of course, the Chocobos, to life on television. How the hell are they going to bring us a Chocobo?
CGI?
Very carefully.
Yeah, I mean, I'm betting it's going to be CGI, but wouldn't it be amazing if we actually, that ain't happening, but it would be so cool.
I mean, they brought dragons to Game of Thrones, and I'm pretty sure that's also CGI.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it, you've ruined my immersion.
Oh, just like I did for the Gremlins.
Listen, anyway. So digging back really quick, Nick Nar actually was cool enough to post a picture, and you do have the Legacy Warrior tattoo, but the bottom half of it is inside the fur, so you can kind of see it, but it looks a little different.
Oh yeah, I see.
The phrase of the day is shaved Hrothgar.
Oh my. Oh my, indeed. All right, so on that slightly disturbing note.
Also, since I never actually got to say what I've been doing the last couple weeks.
Sorry.
Yeah. And it was actually good. I actually did something this time. I started my new librarian position.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm working in youth services at the main library. So I've spent a bit of time getting all the things like my keys, account setup, voicemail, all that fun stuff. Learning a bit about the kind of programming I'm going to be doing. They're going to have me doing a regular story time. I'm a little nervous about it.
So are you going to be reading to students then?
Children. It's probably going to be a preschool story time.
Dude, that sounds right up your alley. That sounds super cool.
I mean, yeah, it's probably going to be fine. It's just like I have actual responsibilities now. I can't just be like, okay, done at this one. I'm going to go work at another now.
Cool.
It's probably fine. Speaking of which, if people have suggestions for board games or video games that are easy to pick up and put down, that are easy for especially teenagers or middle or elementary school students with short attention spans, to just be like, hey, I'm going to start playing this set, don't need to be too involved, go ahead and tweet those to me. I'll give my Twitter handle later on, because I am always looking for suggestions on library programming to develop.
All right,
dude, I'm stoked for you. I'm glad that you got the job, and now that you finally started it, I'm glad that you're enjoying it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it is very much up my alley. I get concerned about the story time, but let's be real. I'll read anything.
Nick Nar says Settlers of Catan. Seems good.
Could work. I'd probably want to do it for the older kids. I'm not as sure about some of the younger ones, but anyway, we can come back to that.
We're going to go deep into the board game rabbit hole.
Not good for short attention spans, though.
Yeah, it's definitely something, because like a lot of them are going to be like, hey, I want to do this for a little bit. Okay, I want to now. So stuff that's easy to drop in and drop out of, or that fast, is really ideal.
My first thought is cash and guns, but then I'm like, there are so many problems with that.
Yeah. If I wasn't in a library environment, maybe.
Exactly. That was like, oh yeah, that's great. Let's bring foam orange pistols in. That's not gonna.
Yeah, why don't you just jump right to GTA 5?
Yeah.
Well, from the eyes of the administration, probably. So.
I mean, we actually let them bring in video games as long as it's not anything rated M.
Okay.
Anyway,
what have you been up to for the last couple of weeks?
Yeah.
I work too much.
Womp womp.
But no, I mean, like I said, for the most part, a lot of people see me, when I stream on the channel here, twitch.tv/Phoenix Down Radio. For those of you listening on the podcast, I suppose you probably don't catch it as much, but we invite you to come by and check it out. Otherwise, like I said, I do work a lot. I probably played every day a little bit. I've been getting into a trivia league at the local brewery here.
Ooh,
and
very cool.
It's team trivia. And I fortunately found a friend of mine that I met, playing Pokemon Go and doing some running. He does that trivia, so I was able to jump onto his team, and we got second place the first week, and then we got first place this past Thursday.
Congratulations!
So, that was nice. So you get free beer. You got a lot of free beer.
That is a good prize.
Well, gift cards, but like I said, what am I going to use a gift card for? Beer.
So free beer.
It's good beer too. Very tasty. Shout out to Bobbing Bobber Brewery Company. But other than that, like I said, been prepping for Shadowbringers. Got my Dragoon to 70 on Wednesday, like just in time. Got enough tomes to get the Namazu earring and the Answers Orchestrion roll.
Oh, I just decided at some point, I was like, you know what? I'm never going to wear it anyways. It's just going to be another thing in Armoire. I don't want to do this anymore.
But it is cute.
It is cute, but I'll look at it once or twice, be like, "That's cute," and then I'll never look
Yeah.
at it again.
It's cute
2
like
years
the
from now, it'll be $8 cute. That's what I said.
Yeah,
well, time is money, so that
I would rather have the time.
I think I've got $1 a quarter for the next 2 years to save up. I'll be okay.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
for me, like I said, it was killing two birds with one stone. I needed to level up anyway, and story time roulette and alliance roulette were the easiest things to run to get a lot of XP.
Yeah.
True
Like
that.
if you were running those for the XP anyways, then it's like, hey, you're getting most of them, and that makes.
Yeah,
For myself, I had all the jobs at 70, so the only thing I was getting out of it would have been the
tome.
The tome stuff, and I was like, okay, this is just not worth it.
And Chili, I know, can attest to the fact that running, he ran Circus Tower 110 times.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Why did he need 220?
Because he didn't want to do the Beastman tribe quests.
And he wanted all the mounts.
Yes.
Oh, the Beastman tribes seem less painful.
Not the ARR ones.
Yeah, the ARR ones are pretty bad, dude.
Huh. I never had a problem with it.
Well, I didn't either, but that's because we kept up on them as they were released.
Yeah, I was busy living in Japan and getting a bachelor's degree, so like I basically started playing this game, and I played in 1.0, I played in beta, and then I played in Heaven's Word. So I played a very different spread of a game.
Oh, and like I said, that's fine. I mean, it's not content for everybody, I guess, but if that's how you wanted to get them, then well,
I mean, no judgment, but judgment.
Like, yeah, but he was a hurting unit on Wednesday. I could tell when he stopped in the stream. He was.
Yeah, like that's the bit that gets me. Like, if it's okay, but he hurts himself so much for this sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's Chili. But we all
how
love
does
Chili.
that make it okay?
Because he's Chili.
Because Chili is nuts.
That
we
too.
have legitimately been like, hey man, are you okay? Did you eat? Did you sleep recently? And he's like, oh, I'm fine. You're like,
that's not actually.
You're not actually fine.
Yeah, you tell Chili that though.
Exactly.
I mean, we tried.
Anyway, we love the guy. We miss you, buddy. MGR_Chili on.
Or the real Chili Pepper out on Twitch. Or
oh God, is that his username? That's awesome.
Yeah, the real Chili Pepper. But yeah, that's what I guess I've been up to. So we kind of diverted back into the host news, but I usually skip over myself because I'm not usually that entertaining.
I mean, that sounds like something you could work on.
Being entertaining?
Yeah.
Man.
It's a skill one can develop.
That sounds like work.
Yes, that is exactly what I am saying.
Meh, work. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. So back to the game and community news. We got more info regarding quests and the story for Final Fantasy VII Remake in a Tetsuya Nomura interview. I enjoyed this one. Dang it, I hit the wrong button. There we go. Copy pasting. So in a weekly Famitsu article, Final Fantasy VII Remake director Tetsuya Nomura shared some new information regarding some interesting additions to the upcoming remake, including dialogue options, new event scenarios, and more. One of the things that they ended up talking about in that was Tifa's outfit was altered by the suggestions of the internal ethics department, where it was decided to give Tifa a sporty design, so that way, basically, TLDR, so them titties don't be flopping everywhere.
Pretty much.
I mean, that original design was clearly just a, hey, let's appeal to this one particular type of fantasy without actually considering what the character would be like. I am mildly annoyed at people who kept trying to demand that should totally be a thing.
Yeah, they made it more realistic, honestly, which is perfectly fine. They also did talk about the Honeybee Inn scene, When Nomura was asked if events from the original game would remain the same in the remake, he mentioned it depends on the situation. For example, the Honeybee Inn cross-dressing event is still in the game, but the place itself has been significantly rearranged in a more modern style. When the developers attempted to recreate that space, it didn't look right, and they generally thought it wasn't very good, so they tweaked those areas that did not fit the visuals and the worldview of the game. So they've updated it to be more 2019 style-wise, because it was pretty gaudy, even by 97 standards.
And I don't think the aesthetic would really make a lot of sense these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're making some changes, like some necessary stuff. Sometimes you need to make these changes just for updating of whatever. There's a character in Thunderbirds named Tintin. She was fine in the 60s. She has extremely problematic now. So in Thunderbirds Go, she's half Asian descent, half Western descent. She's a spy and is a badass. It's like, okay, cool. We've updated the character to do something new and cool. In this situation, it's, hey, let's make this a lot more respectful of people. Let's make this a lot more aesthetically making sense, because frankly, the inn was really funky and out of place in the original 1997 game anyway.
I mean, it was still fun, but
yeah, no, it wasn't not fun. The game was fun top to bottom, but there was some weirdness in there.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they keep some of the weirdness in it, because I mean, there were bits in that particular quest line that were cringy and awkward, and in just the right way.
I mean, I would like to point out that this is a modern era RuPaul's Drag Race. I don't think they're going to completely get rid of the idea of a cross-dressing sequence.
No, that's going to still stay in there. It just might be a little different.
I mean, there's a reason I cited RuPaul's Drag Race here.
Through that.
Aside from that, they talked a little bit also about the affinities with enemies, because they had mentioned that each character has kind of a favorite enemy that they fight against. They do a little bit of extra damage against them, I think. So according to article translations, character switching will be important in the remake, as each character has different abilities that are more suitable for fighting certain enemies. Example being on the Scorpion boss, how switching to Barret from a distance is a good idea, because the monster is normally short range, but being Barret has an affinity for flying and long range enemies. When he's away, Barret is actually the better character to play as. And I think I'm glad
that we're going to be playing as different characters and not just here's your menu, because I'm not sure where we decided. I mean, it was 13 realistically, but at some point we decided to make Final Fantasy an action genre. And they're like, okay, 7's going to play kind of like a 13-15 crossover mix. And all right, we've gotten a couple games under our belt. Let's see where we're at.
Yeah.
I mean,
styles change. As if it weren't for nostalgia factor, I don't think a lot of the older ones would do as well at this point, just because like having the static party standing there type thing, I think doesn't fit a lot of the modern expectations. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but styles and preferences change.
Agreed.
And they like where you're a little bit more interactive with it versus just choosing something, waiting for your turn to go, performing that action, and repeating until boss is dead.
I mean, I've got plenty of blasphemous stuff to say about, for instance, Final Fantasy VI. I replayed it. It's like, this is just not that enjoyable anymore. So I've wanted to try that Brave New World patch. I hear that actually changes up some stuff in an interesting way.
It does. 6 is a lot of fun to speed run. It's a lot of fun to kind of break in half and do some crazy things with the mechanics. But as far as I've never played this game before, I'm going to play an RPG. It doesn't play well in 2019. It plays great if you've played it 5 times before. It's a little challenging, as Klauss can probably attest to, having played it.
I mean, and like I said, I was just going to comment, it's fun to play if you want to, actually immerse yourself in the story.
Yeah.
Because it's a very good story.
I played through it recently with a friend of mine who had never played the older ones, was kind of curious about it, and he certainly enjoyed it, really loved the story, a lot of the set piece sequences and the like, but the gameplay and battle stuff did start to wear thin and become kind of uninteresting after a bit.
The grinding aspect is what's not good about it.
Or it's like, we played modern ones. It's like, okay, maybe we'll use buffs and debuffs and do all this other stuff in Highly Strategic. No, just mash attack and then unload all the magic. everything else is kind of a waste of time.
You're like,
Like,
okay,
that's not
so
interesting.
I'm using Celis, Sabin, Edgar, and whoever the hell else I feel like, and I'm using Orbolt, Auto Crossbow, Runic, repeat forever.
Pretty much.
That's great, but that's the speedrun tactic, and it's like that's fun for about 5 battles, and you've got about 300 more in front of you. It gets really freaking.
I think that's why.
Also, going to take this opportunity really quick, Klauss, to make sure everybody moves their camera around so that they're not AFK.
That's a very good idea. Click somewhere so you get the AFK off of your character, and that should be good. I'll just do a wiggle of the screen. There we go. Thank you for that reminder. Because I wrote in the notes, but I probably still would have forgotten because I don't know exactly how long it's been. I don't have my HUD up, so I can't see when I go AFK. So I'll need you guys to nudge me. But like I said, are you guys still excited about where we're at with the Final Fantasy VII news?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like, I wouldn't say excited in the sense of getting hyped, but in the sense of like, hey, that's interesting. Like, I feel like this would actually be something that's interesting to play that'll evoke those old memories without necessarily just being this carbon copy experience.
Yeah, it's not just, we're taking the game and we're copy pasting it with new graphics. We're rebuilding it from the ground up. We're giving you the same story, but we're presenting it in a more modern package.
And I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
7 was not one of my favorite of the numbered franchise, but I'm actually interested in playing the remake because I've tried to play the original one, and it just, even when it came out, it didn't really grab me. But hot take, I liked Final Fantasy VIII, so 7 never really clicked with me. So maybe this remake would be a good opportunity, because while I've seen the whole story, I haven't actually played through the game myself, so the remake might be my first time through the story.
Today on Phoenix Down Radio, Heresy.
Yeah, Heresy Edition.
I used to actually.
Seyrr doesn't like 6. Ian's never played 7. It's a good time.
I like 6. It just didn't age well.
I wasn't a fan of 8.
If you make the Heresy more nuanced, that makes it less bad, right?
No, Heresy would be saying 10-2 is a better game than 10.
I mean, depending on what you're looking for.
Heresy!
That is pretty solid Heresy. Sorry,
I'll just go burn myself at the stake, shall I?
Oh, yeah, and make sure to clean up after yourself when you're done.
In fairness, I'm playing 5. I can't give any job-based game garbage right now.
No, I know. I just like to give him a hard time about it.
Yeah. No, it's our thing.
Nick Nar 13.3 is the greatest Final Fantasy game ever.
Oh, man, 13.2 was the best Chrono Trigger game.
It was! Like, seriously,
it was
fuck
a good
Chrono Cross. 13.2 is the sequel to Chrono Trigger.
It was good.
True.
13.2
Speaking of which,
is
if anybody likes Chrono Trigger, there's a cool thing called SGDQ that's going on, and there is a glitchless 100% run of Chrono Trigger happening at some point on the schedule. A runner by the name of Puexel, amazing Final Fantasy.
Puexel is amazing, yes.
And so he is actually doing Chrono Trigger glitchless 100%. He's still doing skips because there's some sequence breaking you can do, but he is going glitchless. So that's really, really cool to watch. If you have a chance to tune into that later, definitely do.
Oh, is it right now, Nick Nar?
Oh, is it right now? Balls.
Yeah, but I mean, we have been actually hosting Games Done Quick here on our channel because SGDQ is happening in Minnesota. I actually wanted to be there, but according to the follow list, Nick Nar says it's going on right now. And
it's going to be on YouTube in like 2 weeks anyway. So anyway, moving on.
But and 2, like I said, they're raising funds for Doctors Without Borders. Amazing charity. Ooh. They've raised well over $1 million already this year. So go check them out if you have a chance. I'm actually going to do a shout out real quick. Games Done Quick. There we go. So, moving on then, I was just going to talk really quickly about, since we were talking about Final Fantasy VIII a little bit, we are getting that remaster this year as well.
Which I'm surprised of. Like, I know it was rumors, but the stuff I'd heard suggested that the original assets for that had vanished.
And that's why the remake is such a huge deal, is because I think they're actually rebuilding the entire thing from scratch.
Huh. I wonder what spurred them to do that.
They must have been doing it for a while if it's coming out this year, though.
they must have been doing it for a while, or pressure, or reverse engineering, and they just found that they could use a lot of stuff from older versions. Who knows? But
Yeah.
I'm stoked to see something come out again for 8.
All right. Anyway, I just want to throw another reminder to you guys that we do want to take your calls on Discord. We want you to join in with your opinions as to what you're thinking or what your opinions are on the Shadowbringers launch, how you're enjoying the game so far, issues you're having with it. But also remember, we're keeping it spoiler free. So I put a link to the Discord in the Twitch chat. Go ahead and click on that and jump into the call-in channel, and we'll bring you in and you can join in on a discussion with us. So let's go ahead and jump right into a discussion with Early Access. So who else was up at 2 a.m. Pacific time?
Right here.
I mean, technically, but I went to bed shortly thereafter. I'm just usually up until 2.
And you didn't stay on and play?
Nah.
Did you at
I
least
had
download?
work I did download it, but it's like I have work in the morning. It's a short thing. It was like an in-service, and as I said, like I got to play that Pride and Prejudice game with the team, the interns. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take a gentler pace. But most of the people I know did take time off and were up that early, so good for them, I think.
I stayed up, and then I think I took a nap from about 1 to 2, was up from about 2 to 3:30, and then I went to bed, woke up around 7 or 8, played a little bit, went to work. Like, it was like I kind of paced it out, and it's been a lot of fun because I've basically just hauled through Heavensward, and Heavensward is my least favorite expansion because I basically didn't play it. But like Stormblood, I really enjoyed because I took a month off right after it came out because Warrior was unplayable, and I was kind of mad. But then I came to it, and I was like, well, I'm already behind, so who cares? And I took my time, and I got to see everything and enjoy it. So this time I'm going, hey, I'm not going to burn through this one. I'm going to sit back and pace it and have fun with it because I want to enjoy it a lot more than I did previously.
And that makes sense. I mean, and I will say this is definitely a story you want to enjoy.
Oh my God, it's so wild so far.
It's well written.
I really hope people aren't skipping cutscenes on this one because like the writing quality, there's a whole bunch of stuff that they've just really stepped up.
Yeah, the quality is huge. I'm really impressed with the nuanced things that they're adding into the storyline. It's so poignant. It's very heart-wrenching in a lot of ways.
This is a world that's on the brink, and they've really done a lot to drive that home, and to play with our feelings, to play with a lot of stuff like that.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of really good comic relief moments too, actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know exactly which moment you're talking about too.
Well, there's a lot of them though.
There are quite a few. One that I have seen many people talking about involves our arrival on the First, learning a little bit about the various creature comforts, the establishment of the Crystarium, and the various things that they have to offer there. And there is a moment where we look over to see a familiar thing from our past, and like the sheer agony on our face.
Yep.
As a Lala, it's kind of like you licked a lemon and your whole face turns inside out and you make this really like comedically awful face at it. It's
was so good. Like Ian's in the chat saying it was very fourth wall breaking.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? That's fine. There's no way to continue this conversation without spoiling other stuff. So let's move on.
Yeah. I mean, pay attention to those little things. I mean, because it is something that could be easily missed. But the team did a great job. I mean, I do understand not everybody is into the story, and I know a few people who actually have been skipping cutscenes.
Why? What are they trying to get to?
End game,
PvP, man. I don't know.
But I mean, the thing is, there's 2 weeks until we even get the easy version of the raid. So,
or until we get like our Gosha tomes like that.
No, we have those now. They're in game. It's the Phantasmagoria ones that are 2 weeks old.
Yeah, Phantasmagoria is the one. The higher level one, whichever those are.
Correct. Yeah, we can't even get those yet. But I mean,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I know there are people who are 80, which is what's messed up.
Dude, how fast do you have to be going? My God.
I mean, it's probably like what happened with the previous one, where it's like, hey, you devote all of your attention to Heaven on High or some other type of thing, that's going to give you XP, and you burn that nonstop.
But then again, we think back 4 years ago, Seyrr.
Mm-hmm.
You, me, and a couple other people from the old FC, we all burned through Heaven's Word before early access ended.
Yeah. But I think we were still watching cutscenes in the live.
We were, yes. But I mean, it wasn't quite...
Like, there's a difference between, hey, I'm going to go hard on this because I'm really enjoying the story and I want to see more, and I'm just going to mindlessly grind it as hard as I can until the numbers are at the top and I don't actually care about what's going on.
Yeah. Now, as for what I've been doing, like I said, I was up right away streaming. I will say it wasn't a perfect launch. The first 20 minutes or so were rather buggy just because of the sheer number of people trying to sign in. But for the first 7 hours, other than that, it went great. I streamed from about 4 a.m. my time to about 11:30 in the morning. So about 7 hours, and got a whole bunch accomplished. Then in the afternoon, right around, must have been about 2 o'clock Central, so about noon Pacific, the game got DDoSed.
Yep.
I saw that.
For about an hour.
AFK alert.
Thank you. About an hour.
I turned off AFK at the same time you did, so that way.
Okay. Did it go away?
You're good.
Okay. So I Nick Nar was watching at the time. He knows what I was going through trying to sign in. He was trying to sign in at the same time, and it took almost an hour for us to get back into the game. It was pretty brutal. But so far, there haven't been any other Raubon Extreme events. So, I mean, I guess actually there was something today. I didn't sign into the game until this afternoon. I took the morning off because I needed to adult. I know. What am I thinking, right?
You don't need to apologize for adulting.
I know.
I had to work a little bit today. I'm right there with you.
But I guess there was some issues where they had to reset a whole bunch of the servers because there were some issues. So otherwise, I think for the most part, it's the design of the game is a little bit better. So there isn't that major bottleneck like we had with Raubon and Pippin right away towards the beginning of the expansion.
Yeah, they actually seem to do a little more similar to Heaven's Word, where they had that initial patch.
Yep. They also, I think they beefed up their instant servers, which I think that was the issue today, was they had some issues with those, but a reboot fixed them.
Dude, all the instanced areas, I have not had issue with like just too many people, can't talk to an NPC, crazy lag. It's been a lot better than Stormblood was. I was really happy about it.
So, I mean, overall, I think they did a pretty decent job. Most of the things that happened weren't directly their fault.
Yeah, they generally don't make the same mistake twice.
They make new mistakes, but we all do.
Yes. Yeah, everyone makes new mistakes. Can't do much about that.
But yeah, the other thing that they did amazingly this year, the patch was available to download super early.
So that way everybody was able to get it. So at 2 o'clock, we could hit the ground running.
Exactly. Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure they expected that people are going to be logged on waiting. So it's like, okay. Like, if they didn't know it before, I think they know it by now. That's like, okay, everyone's going to be ready and waiting and doing all this. So let's do this with that expectation in mind.
Do you remember when the patch was available for or the expansion was available for download for Stormblood?
Like 1:58 a.m. It was stupid. It was such a pain.
Okay. Because I was trying to think. I know they changed their patching structure now because PS4 goes through Sony's servers at this point. So I think they had to make it available earlier to get through Sony's checks.
That actually makes sense. And it explains why it was up at like 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got home from trivia and started downloading it. And it, like I said, I was done downloading 7.5 gigs in 15 minutes.
Also, can we talk about how this is only about 7 gigs and Stormblood 4.0 was somewhere in the 14, 15 range. So we're definitely still missing stuff.
Well, we're going to have, there's going to be the 5.05 patch. Is that?
Yeah,
No,
we're going to continue
01.
getting stuff. We don't have everything.
Yeah, 01 is, and I'm wondering if they're pulling some of that out because they're trying to keep people from data mining.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I certainly hope that's the case because I've been actively trying to avoid data miners.
Oh God, me too. It's really cool in some aspects to be like, I know everything that's going to happen. Man, seeing it fresh and blind and getting hit in the face with story elements,
right?
Really, really nice too.
I've seen a lot more people expressing that attitude this time around. And I think that speaks a bit to just like the anticipation, the expectations for the story.
It's been, I'm thinking that they're doing a lot of things very well, and overall, I would personally say Square Enix did a great job on the launch.
Mm-hmm. Good job, guys.
Congratulations, you have released another amazing game. As I stare at the copy of Type 0 sitting on the table.
Oh, you too?
I really do want to try that one of these days.
Dude, I saw a speed run of it that's 2.5 hours long, and my roommate actually is like, here, this is yours now, toss it to me. And I was like, I'm going to learn to beat this game. I'm going to learn to run this game because it's not good. So I'm going to have fun breaking it.
I bought it initially so I could get the episode to Sky.
Yeah.
I did try playing it. I think I maybe have 8 hours. The gameplay is horrible. I'm sorry, It is.
It's janky, but once you figure out how to skip stuff and how the game is designed, it's not too bad. But the story straight up top to bottom does not make sense.
No, it's very.
This feels like
very
a challenge. Now I really want to know.
I mean, it makes 10-2 look like a masterpiece.
Your mom, who is also your teacher, who is also God, has summoned you, and you're not sibling.
Okay.
You have the choice to become Lassie or not. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Also, you have to die.
And everybody forgets you.
Don't worry, you don't need to know any of that. That's all stuff that comes. That literally, when you replay the tutorial mission, they tell you all of that. You just don't know what any of it means because you have zero context. It's fucking wild, dude.
I am so intrigued right now. You have no idea.
I'm helping.
I'm sure you can find it for dirt cheap on eBay.
Oh, yeah, probably.
You sure can. So let's talk about good games like Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers instead.
Is there anything that you've found so far that you don't like?
Yes. Resetting my bars.
The muscle memory has been throwing me. I've been playing on Bard and Warrior. Both feel a bit easier, a bit more streamlined. I feel like I can actually pay a bit more attention in combat and not have it be too frenetic. But oh my god, muscle memory keeps getting me right now.
It's taken me a couple of dungeons to start to redo my muscle memory. I finally think I have my bars in a good position for Bard. But I still find myself trying to hit a key that's not there.
Yeah.
But oh my god, I love the fact that. Go ahead.
I think long run I'm going to appreciate the changes, but oh my god, I am not used to them yet.
Yeah, you will very much enjoy them. I think the biggest thing I like most about it is I think I got rid of 7 actions or something like that.
Seyrr, have you figured out the 10 Felcleave combo that you can do at level 70?
I think I came close to it by accident, so I could probably together.
I did.
Oh my god, having
accident
Infuriate being a charged thing is awesome.
It's so good. I think I get 7 by accident because I'm at 1330 skill speed or whatever, and then I was like, I wonder if I could do more, and I did 9, and then once I figured out the actual rotation, I was able to pull off 10, and I was like, that's busted. That's so good.
I assume this requires getting your gauge up to 100 and having charges.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, then I think I can figure it out because the time passed plus the 45-second deduction you would get from it for using that many Felcleaves, I think I can figure that out.
It's pretty freaking wild. If you're playing Warrior, by the way, and you need to know what's going on, send a /tell the Towels Marvelous on Hyperion, and I'm happy to hook you up with some details.
Yeah, I need to work on that. I haven't. The only jobs I've played so far, Bard, and I did 1 quest on Gunbreaker just to try it out.
Which I'm told has all the DPS actions.
It has
Gunbreaker is the new 2.0 warrior. It's the DPS tank. It's kind of wild.
It's got a lot of different buttons to press. I have a lot to learn on it. A lot.
I'm kind of reminded in Final Fantasy VIII, one of the things that came up was that the Gunblade is not actually an especially great weapon, and in fact is incredibly difficult to use. And Squall chose it mostly because it was difficult as a way to prove himself. But if you're looking for something that's like actually really good, there's better options.
Like, I don't know, a sword and shield, or an axe, or a greatsword.
Or a gun. How about a gun?
Or just a straight up gun.
Point and click technology right there.
Yeah.
Oh man, is the gun not working? I have a great idea. Summon a freaking Gundam and then just use that to kill every.
Speaking of, have any of you guys actually tried the new Machinist yet?
No, but I've been hearing it's amazing.
It's on my to-do list.
Some people have said that
I had a hard time with Machinist.
And it's not all that much different.
Huh.
Disappointing. I did read through the skills, and speaking of Final Fantasy VI, there's a couple of things that you might recognize if you played that game.
Yeah.
Yes. We're all King Edgar on this blessed day.
Which is amazingly fun, I think, but...
Let us flirt with all the ladies.
Okay.
We will flirt
that's
with
what
the
Edgar does.
We will flirt with the men and the ladies who dress like men? Question mark.
Now
Ferris needs some love too.
Now you're Greg.
Exactly. Hashtag pride. I don't know.
For another day or so.
Oh yeah! Happy Pride Month, Seyrr.
Woo!
High five long distance across the West Coast.
Yay!
Huzzah! I did actually get one of those Twitch Pride shirts. Very well done,
sweet.
actually. Plus, I just like rainbows.
I mean, rainbows are awesome.
I mean, like, you can't tell. I mean, look at our freaking logos.
Didn't you switch the logo for Pride and then said, "Frick it, that looks super cool. Just leave."
No, this has been the idea of our logo. Period.
Yeah, that's what it's been from the start.
First.
It's always been rainbow.
Then I'm dumb. All right.
No, it's fine.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say it.
Thanks, man.
But no, yeah, like I said, I just thought rainbows are awesome. And like I said, when we started the show, I was a part of the Phoenix Town Free Company, which was it's an LBGTQ plus A free company. So, yeah.
So it was already pretty rainbowy.
Exactly. And it was very awesome. So, like I said, as an ally, I wanted to make sure to represent that. Because they were a bunch of awesome people. They still are a bunch of awesome people, and I still consider most of them my friends. And hell, I dragged one of them with me to this show.
Woo!
Hey, I wonder who that was.
Yeah,
I had nothing better to do.
How many hosts has this show had? 7?
No, actually, I don't think it's been that many, has it?
Or
Or is it? Maybe it has. Yeah, including you,
Luna Chili, Sao, and one
Tristan.
more.
Yeah,
1, 2,
because
3, 4, 5, 6. If I count 7.
Okay.
If I don't count 6.
it does. Yeah, it just sounds like so many more than it actually is. But
Like you said, 4 years, dude.
4 years. And the fact that
4 more
Seyrr
years.
and I have been here the entire time. I think Seyrr's only missed 2 episodes, I think.
That sounds about right.
Anyway, we kind of got sidetracked.
As we do.
Before we get back on track, turn your cameras real quick. AFK check.
Boop.
Thank you.
There we go.
All right. Did you guys at all get a chance to jump through the patch notes?
Yas.
Yep, there was reviewing of them. My free company leader actually, when the preliminary one gets posted and then the final one gets posted, he posts a difference file showing what changed between the two, which is always really convenient.
Yeah, the biggest difference between the prelim and the normal ones is the fact that just a lot of them added the locations of the quests.
Yep, or they added like, hey, here's the job guide that actually tells you about all things.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
So what things did we get in 5.0 that shocked you? Like you were like, I wasn't expecting this, and this is amazing.
So it's a little thing, but they added it so that you can use housing from any of the wars like housing exteriors from any of the areas in any of the housing wards. So you can have your old Dual Dawn style house in the lavender beds now.
Or
I did notice that. That was kind of cool. Again, small, but really, really nice to have.
everybody's going to have the Shirogane house no matter where they're at.
I mean, that was already a thing they could do, but now they can have more different Shirogane houses.
Well, they had to they had to build it in their free company.
And it was only one particular style of Shirogane, but now they can do all the Shirogane. Shirogane stopped sounding like a word.
Shirogane.
Let's see.
For me,
flying mounts.
the fact that every mount flies.
Every mount flies. And it's very weird.
It is. I guess initially when a mount started flying, they did something cool when it was flying.
Like there would be some kind of transition between.
Yes, or it would have some sort of effect that would show what it's on in the air. Like it looked like it was stepping on like a magical kind of piece of something.
Right.
I don't know.
Like Fenrir would make like little ice things in the air that he was stepping on.
Yep, and or words. I can't think of the name of the mount. The first pony, all the pony mounts one.
All the pony mounts. It's like, oh, now you have like little dirt clops flying behind you, or flames, or ice crystals, or whatever. It was kind of neat to see that. But now it's just like, oh, everything flies. It's like, well, then what was the cool part about getting your black chocobo if everything flies?
Nicknar is saying that not all mounts can swim, but I thought every flying mount could swim.
Yeah, that was my understanding, that it just used, for the most part, it would use the flying mount animation as a swimming animation.
Unless you have something like there's, I'm spacing on the name of it. There's one that if you are riding it, it looks like a motorcycle. If you fly it, it has propellers, and if you hit the water, it has boat propellers.
The Falcon.
That's the one.
I almost exclusively used that one for quite a while.
I did too. I just couldn't remember what it was called.
It was our first motorcycle.
Yeah, and now that we have the actual motorcycle with, by the way, has a speed boost. Thank you, Klauss, for reminding me.
Yes.
So if you want to go fast, you should have one.
Yep. If you paid to get the motorcycle from the FanFest stuff, it does actually come with the first tier of speed boost unlocked for every zone. So you can actually go faster in these new zones if you're riding on the SDS Fenrir. Plus, it just looks badass.
Yep.
And it has crazy motorcycle music.
Menus. I summoned my retainers and had completely forgotten about the changes that they did to that.
That's
the menu's
nice.
a lot easier to read. It's a lot easier to read. You can read all of them, and for some of us that have more than two, being able to read 3 or 5 or 9 of them at a time is really, really helpful.
Yeah.
Or like having the information, it's like, oh, hey, these are the ones that have money on them and I need to get stuff. These ones have this going on. Like you have all that information available at a glance, and it's really nice.
I do wish we could turn off the amount of money that's sitting in there, though. Personally,
yeah,
take the money out.
I mean, if we could adjust what the menus told us, that would be cool.
I mean, I'm not sure that I always want people seeing that I have 2 or so million on my retainers or whatever.
I mean, how would they see it? Like, you're the only one who can see that, aren't you?
I stream.
As a streamer.
Oh.
That's
like when you log into Twitch as a streamer, your Discord automatically switches to streamer mode.
Got it.
Yep. I mean, so like I said, there's some protections involved with, when you're streaming. And that's why I cover up all the different chats within the game, because I do not want any...
It's like, oh, hey, I saw someone's name. Time to dox them.
Yeah, because that is a very real thing. And I think it was Remix was telling me that she had to redrag some stuff at one point because she couldn't log in for like a day. Because everything got all jacked up because somebody messed with her because they found some names in chat.
Charming.
I think that was Remix. It might have been somebody else. Anyway, it was still, you got to cover your chat. You got to move stuff all over the...
Yeah, I mean, it's not as big of a deal, but I mean, if somebody were to have enough gil on them, maybe they might become a target for being hacked.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's not a huge thing, but I mean, it's a potential problematic type of thing. But I mean, for the most part, a lot of things we can move, but this is one that doesn't seem that's movable.
Oh, so another thing that's just like a minor thing, but it's really nice. At least more than I expected it would be. When you're looking at hairstyles, it now just shows you all of them. And if you don't have it, it tells you like, oh, you don't have this one. And I think it tells you a little about how you get it.
Okay.
It does tell you where you get it from. So it's like, you bought this. This was an event. This was a whatever. And it's like, very cool. Very helpful. You can also now pick those hairstyles if you have them unlocked. You can pick them in character creation. I believe if it's like ones that you bought or whatever.
Ooh.
Unless you're Viera or Hrothgar.
Yeah, then you just get... Then you get
heads.
Viera or Hrothgar, you're welcome.
Yep, you get heads.
Oh, who goes hunting?
As in, like, the new... the
Hunt marks?
Yeah, you can now get chat log stuff. And that's a 2.0 thing. So even if you don't have Heaven's Word or Beyond, which I'm not sure how, but if you don't have them, you still get you sense your mark to the whatever. That gets really handy when you're trying to get something specific or trying to like achievement hunt. It's really nice to be able to find your hunt marks a little bit easier.
Yeah. And
the daily log ones, the bill will actually show you on the map the general area.
Yup, it's super nice.
And if an S rank spawns, there's one that pops up saying some powerful monster has appeared or something like that to everybody in the zone. So that's kind of nice. The one that I like, we were talking about it in the pre-show, PvP. You now get the experience for the job you queue in as, not the job you end the game as.
Oh my gosh.
That way you can go in as whatever, switch jobs as needed, but you still get credit for your random DPS class or whatever.
Yep, so if I wanted to level up, or if I wanted to go in there and get experience for, say, a tank class, so I will go in with my new tank, and but they end up needing a healer, I can switch to healer, but my tank will still get the experience.
Yeah, you don't get punished for swapping around to things based on what's actually needed. Or having the thing where you make dialogue choices, the new position where instead of a little window, it's a translucent thing at the bottom. That just looks so much nicer. I was surprised really at how much nicer that is.
It is.
And bosses, because at some point, all of you will hopefully run a dungeon, and we get boss title cards where it tells you what their name is and where you are.
Now,
that feels like a remnant of Ys, and I love it.
It's actually part of the cutscene. So if you've run it before, I don't believe you see it again. If you have cutscenes turned off. Because
it was still pretty badass, though.
Oh, it was very nice looking. Don't get me wrong.
As somebody that played Ys simultaneously with playing Final Fantasy growing up, that was one of the big things that I noticed was a change. It's like, what's the boss called? I don't freaking remember. It was translated like garbage and looks like a keyboard roll. Like, who knows what it's actually called? But in Ys, it's like the Underdark Spider. And you're like, okay, cool. I know exactly what this is. Like, it tells you the names. So having those little name placards here, it's a small thing, but it looks really cool.
He means wise, Nicknar.
I was wondering. Yeet? Did you yeet the enemy?
No, I'm gonna yeet the game.
I did get to tell.
It's a tricky thing. It's really interesting talking to Japanese players. Trying to ask them what it's pronounced.
Ooh.
So, have any of you guys played with the new furnishing preview?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, when I actually have time to start considering housing stuff again, when I start having that kind of free time, I am absolutely looking forward to having that as an option. Right now, it's kind of one of the last things on my mind.
No, I hear you. But
eventually.
I'm glad it's there. I haven't touched it yet. Just like I have not yet touched crafting or gathering. Gathering will be the next thing I do because I want those maps. But I figure, we can get leveled up pretty fast, especially if we use the company logs and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of the word thing, no, I've lost it. I can't remember what it is I was going to say.
You'll think of it.
Are we talking about the commercial engineering and commercial survival manuals?
And then the ones you get from your squadrons.
Those got changed. Those manuals got changed. So instead of them being 150% boosts for an hour, they're now 150% boosts for 3 hours.
That's good.
75% boost if you go over level 70. So it's designed, it's like, guys, please get your crafters and gatherers up. So it's a really, really nice change. And as somebody that's been stockpiling them, I'm very happy.
Oh yeah, I've got a ton of them sitting on retainers.
Crossworld link shells.
Oh yes, Crossworld link. Well, yeah, because we talked about those at the beginning. We have 8 Crossworld link shells now, guys.
Which I had a number of ones where it's like people who, it's like friends of mine who are like, I was trying to make a thing of a certain friends. It's like, but I can only be in one, and I really need to be in this one for this other thing. So being able to have more supported for that now is really nice.
I think they're still.
I figured that was going to come eventually, but I'm still glad that they got it.
I think they're only 64 caps still, but we can have more at least.
Yeah. I mean, like, they're really good for stuff where it's like personal friends who are just on different servers and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, I created one for Phoenix Down Radio now, so we can have friends who want to do stuff together. We can plan events, things like that.
Huh. A lot of the lore mongers are on Primal. I wonder if we should make
a lore mongers channel.
Maybe.
Not a bad idea.
I have to type at people now for unrelated reasons.
And you know what? It's actually nice to be able to do it within the game, because then you're not going back and forth. And you don't lose as much, in that transition. If that makes sense to you. I often find myself losing a little bit of the information that I would have when I have to transfer it from within the game to, say, like our show notes or something like that. It loses a little bit in translation.
Mm-hmm.
It does, but now, you can just be like, oh, hey, let's have a conversation while we're standing here, while we're looking at items, while we can link things to each other. Like, that's going to be really nice.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It goes a lot faster as well, so. What other things did we get that are... I mean,
crafting and gathering is super different, which is almost spoilery, so we're going to save it, but crafting and gathering is a lot different.
I haven't touched it yet, so I have no idea.
Crafting is great. We will talk about it in 2 weeks, but crafting is great.
I'm not even sure what about that would be spoilery, but okay.
Just the skill changes in the way that you craft might be a little different. I want the people that love crafting to get to explore it on their own before we're like, here's how crafting works now, when I frankly don't know super well. I'd rather everybody find out on their own. It's a good time.
That's fair.
So I personally have not yet used the trust system. Seyrr, you have.
Mm-hmm.
Have you, Taliz?
I literally unlocked it by clearing the first dungeon, and as soon as I cleared the first dungeon, I teleported into the FC house to start the show. So I have not had a chance.
I mean, were you running with other players, or were you running with the trusts?
No, I was running with my FC mates. I mean, they were like, hey, first dungeon, come with us. Let us know when you want to.
Yeah, I ran it with trust because I was like, I don't really want to try to deal with you, and I'm kind of curious about it.
I went with 3 friends, and they were like, oh, you're going to get to the dungeon soon. Let us know when you're there. And then I was like, okay, who wants in? And 3 people shouted me, and I was like, awesome. And then we went off.
Gotcha.
They were responsive to what was going on in the dungeon. It felt like, okay, we have good, competent party members. They did. It was mentioned that it's like, hey, you're going to clear consistently, but a little bit slower than you would like actual other players. I still got plenty of loot, and I know that they said that the drop rates on a lot of stuff was reduced, so I don't know if I just got really lucky or what.
We had pretty good loot. It was pretty well spread out. I think we were lucky enough that all 4 of our players, everything that dropped was able to be needed on by somebody, as opposed to it being like, here's a cool piece that's dexterity based, and you're like, awesome, we don't have a bard or a ninja, so that's just going to hit the ground or go to the tank or healer, I guess. So all of the gear that dropped was able to go to somebody directly. That was pretty handy.
I mean, I started stockpiling stuff for all of my future jobs. The coat I am wearing is actually the aiming piece from the first dungeon, and I am very pleased with it.
I was wondering, because I was like, that doesn't look familiar. It looks really good.
Yes, I am so happy with that. That combined with the hat, I really love the style I'm wearing now.
Yeah, it fits you. I mean, I don't think it's quite my style, but I mean, it looks good on you.
Mm-hmm.
No, you've got the style of the Fitbit with a vest going on.
Oh man, like my best friend was his glamour for most of Stormblood, at least the later parts. Once the Skaven gear came out, it was Silicon Valley tech bro douche. I mean, you've got the Fitbit, you've got your little earpiece
wow.
Bluetooth microphone.
That combination of words in that order just caused my brain to short circuit.
Yeah, I need to get out of this damn valley every.
Hey man, start driving north. You can sleep on the couch.
Noted. We'll talk later.
Anywho's. Oh, by the way, rest in peace, Mac 32-bit users, all 5 of you.
Ouch.
Sorry, you can't play 14 anymore.
I mean, did they actually kill it?
Yes, 32-bit. Well, because they killed PS3 support with Stormblood, and now they've killed 32-bit support with Shadow.
Well, they didn't kill it for PCs though.
Yeah,
Well,
but
sure.
the Mac client barely worked anyway, so there wasn't exactly a ton of people playing.
It's not specifically about how old it is. It's about how many people are playing on it. How much is it worth it to support this?
Yeah.
Because it's like, are the resources that we're spending to support this and to support this number of players better spent in something that's going to help out everyone else?
No,
I don't know, instant servers for the main cities for the first couple of weeks. That could be good.
I understand. I mean, I know they're actually trying to get everybody to go away from 32-bit even on Windows. But,
Right.
I mean, it still technically works, but it's not officially supported at this point.
Right.
But I didn't realize that they actually fully killed it on the Mac. But I'm assuming that anybody who had 32-bit version, they gave them an option to download 64 for free. I mean, because it's just the same client. They already have the license for it.
Oh yeah, and they did that for. I think they did that for PS3, PS4. You could upgrade that one for free.
Well, that was a licensing thing.
Yeah.
Whereas with the Mac, I mean, it's still on. You own the license for the Mac. So.
True.
At that point, like I said, it's just a new launcher and you have to add a new version of the software. It's running on the same platform though.
I'm glad that Square Enix is really good about things like, I think they've been giving away Heaven's Word for the last month or so.
Yep.
You could get the game for, what was it? It was like $5 or free or something if you had Amazon Prime for like 2 months.
Yeah, Twitch Prime.
Yeah, they're just giving this thing away. They're like, get a lot of people playing. And then it's like, oh, also, here's an expansion in July. And it's like, oh, okay, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
That makes
sense. I mean,
sense.
you saw Hyperion in May.
We're congested again.
Yeah.
What?
Hyperion in April and May was a preferred server. In June, we went to congested.
I was wondering about that. I was wondering about it because I saw we're congested and I was like, that happened? But I noticed I haven't had that much trouble logging in, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Every day I've had a queue.
I have too.
But I mean,
my
it's
first
only
queue was
5 or
1100.
6. But
Yeah, my first queue was like 1100, and then the next day was like 4, and then today was like 30. It's like, that's not that bad.
Yeah, that's like reasonably short.
And with all, yeah, that's the other thing. The queues yesterday, holy shit.
AFK check.
Thank you. Those queues were insane.
That was garbo. That's part of why I just said screw it and just went to work. I was like, no, I'm not going to be able to get in and play anyway. It's not worth it.
I mean, it was insane in a good way. We got into the game in like 3 minutes.
I mean, yeah, that's the
That's not
thing. The
bad.
queue tends to move reasonably quickly.
They just have to. They slowly funnel people through from the lobby to the transition server onto your world.
And I do feel like I haven't, at the very least, I haven't seen as many people who are trying to do some way to subvert the automatic log off type thing. Which I guess that gives me, like, people are thinking, even if I get logged off, I'll be able to log in without too much trouble.
Yeah, and it's been pretty good. I mean, the only time I actually got AFK or booted for being AFK, unfortunately, that's when the DDoS started. So.
I got booted once because I went to grab lunch, and I was like, "Oh, right, that's a thing," and then I logged back in.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I played for 7 hours. I went to get some food. I stayed logged in. I didn't try to subvert any of that, figuring, oh yeah, I'll just get booted back off and I'll sign back in again. Just hit. But then we couldn't because all of the other fun stuff was happening. Just bad luck.
Yep.
Is what it is. Other things that we've seen. Actually, going back to PvP, a lot of things were changed with that. Traits are gone.
No TP PvP changes a lot, which means traits are gone, cooldowns are different. It's gonna be PvPs might be very different.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna give that a try in a little bit just to see what it's like.
I mean, you better get that done soon if you want your thing.
The Garo, yeah, Garo's ending what 5.1.
Yep.
I just bought everything that I wanted from the gold saucer. I was like, screw it. I've got 3 million MGP. I'm just gonna buy all of it.
Wasn't there a bunch of new stuff added to the gold saucer as well, glamour wise?
Don't know. Haven't been back yet. To that end, it's Saturday, which is a thing that we've all forgotten. So don't forget to turn in your Cactopot tickets at some point.
Well, I haven't forgotten. I just do it after the show.
Oh, okay.
I'm not like Chili and not buying a ticket ever.
Why though?
I mean, I've never won a jumbo Cactopod, but I mean, it's always basically free 3,000 MGP just to pick some numbers.
Yeah. Do the mini Cactopot, do the big Cactopot once a week. Just go do the fashion report wearing whatever the hell you're wearing.
Actually, this week's is pretty easy.
MGP pretty.
This week, if you have the Cascadier outfits, the top, and then anything that is dyed soot black.
Oh,
and
easy.
that's an easy 80.
Nice.
I love how we were all like, how do we get to 100? How do we get to 100? You've unlocked everything. What's the easiest way to get to 80? We're fine.
Yeah, I mean, you only need, right at this point, you only need 2 gold and you got 80. It used to be,
no matter where your base is.
You had to have at least 3 gold and maybe a 2-star in order to get 80. So it's I like the changes they made to that. Makes getting MGP a little bit easier for people. But it almost maybe a little too easy. Like I said, I'm sitting at 4.1 million again. After spending $1 million on triple triad cards, trying to get some new ones from the packs.
Triple triad.
But yeah, going back, TP removal. That's been, people have been talking about that since they announced it at the media event, and I'm happy with it. I'm extremely happy with it as a bard.
I love it. It's so much better.
Because I mean, I don't know, Seyrr, you mained bard and warrior, right?
Right.
How often did you find yourself running out of TP in the middle of a dungeon pull?
If it was something where it was a lot of things. On warrior, I might be spamming overpower for a bit just to try to make sure I'm keeping everything. Or even just for the extra damage to try to kill stuff faster. With bard, if I was going crazy with the quick knock sometimes. So sometimes, yeah.
I mean, I found myself running low, especially if the other DPS wasn't, doing as much AoE as well. I would find myself running out of TP very fast, even after using Tactician and my other TP regen. I can't remember what the name of it is anymore because it's no longer there.
Goad?
No, that's the one that I begged for.
Tactician and refresh?
No, is it internal?
It was the Dragoon.
Yeah, it was a Dragoon one that we got to use as a cross class. Gave us 400, whatever. Anyway.
Hang on. Invigorate.
Yes.
Because I have not cleared off that bar yet, so it's still there, even blanked out.
Yes, Invig. Even after using all that, I would still just burn through it, especially if we were doing not massive pull. But
right.
So, I mean, now I can just go boom, 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 and just not even worry about it.
I did notice in the party list, when it's showing the HP and it's showing the MP, because everyone... it does the last 2 digits fairly small, so it looks like a percentage now.
Yep, and I think that's kind of neat.
Yep, I'm pretty sure that was the exact intent with it. It's like if you have 9,143 MP, it would be 91.43, and it looks like 91.43%. So it's a lot easier to mentally process, okay, this person has plenty of MP, this person's about halfway. Like, it's much easier for you to see it and process really quickly.
Yeah. Capping MP at 10,000, I think, was a good idea as well. That way you don't have to worry about your spells going to, bloating so much like they used to.
I mean, it was always a thing where like, for a lot of it was like, okay, your MP is effectively this percentage. Like this spell is effectively this percentage of your MP. The main things it would change is stuff like ethers and how they restore, or maybe the effect of piety or things like that.
Yeah.
But so it would become a thing. It's like, okay, this spell costs like 1,700 MP. Is that a lot? Is that not very much? It became something where it was hard to have a good feel for how much spells actually cost as a part of your MP.
Yep.
Which given that for a lot of jobs, MP management can become important, having a good feel for which are the expensive ones and which are the cheap ones becomes a really important thing.
So now that once you hit a certain point, you're at 10,000, which means your spell costs aren't going to go up anymore.
I mean, I think it's 10,000 at all levels, isn't it?
Yeah. No, you don't have 10,000 for, when you're lower level, you don't have 10,000.
I do not have a job that I can change to check this.
And I can't check because I don't have a HUD up, but I don't think you start at 10,000 MP. You know what I mean?
I mean, I had almost unlocked Blue Mage. I never got around to Blue Mage, and so I would have been level 1, and I could check that. Yeah, I never got around to doing Blue Mage.
Did we lose you, Taliz?
Nope, I was checking. I don't have a weapon for the low-level classes. Never mind.
Well, what's your Blue Mage at?
I don't have a weapon for the low-level classes, so never mind.
Oh, so everything you have is over?
Correct.
Okay. Well, I suppose I can check my thaumaturge once the show is over. If my thaumaturge has 10,000 MP, then well...
Rip.
Exactly.
Yep. I mean, I think it's essentially supposed to be a percentage play.
Yeah. But no, I think those two changes have been very nice, so we can, learn to manage it much easier and see what we have on a glance. We do have Materia 7.
We do 7 and 8. Well, we can't get 8, but 7 and 8.
There's 8 as well.
Yeah, I think you can get it as a roulette reward because you can get the planet and Stella clusters.
Correct. So yeah, I guess we do have it.
Yeah, I know the roulette thing, they give things they'll give for 7 specific types of 7. There's 2 different items for each of those, but
check that description again.
Did I misread the one? Because I don't know how this happened, but Alliance Roulette had a DPS as the Adventurer in Need bonus.
So Alliance and Leveling Roulettes give you 2 cracked planet clusters, which is combat materia grade 7, and 1 cracked Stella cluster, which is combat materia grade 8.
Ooh, okay. So I misread that. So I thought maybe one did.
I mean, it's Roman numerals. VII versus VIII is very easy to misread at a glance.
Yeah, if you're just glancing at it quick, I can see that.
Yeah.
So when Aurore's saying the 10K as a 50 blue, so maybe it is. Like I said, I'll for sure double check when I check Thaumaturge, which is level 17. So, anyway, what other things would you like to talk about regarding our experience with Shadowbringers?
I mean, I think there's not a lot else that I can talk about without getting spoilery things.
The loss of some skills has caused a lot of division, I've noticed. There's a lot of us that are like, oh, I'm missing a skill. Well, no, that skill just got absorbed or changed into something else. And then there's stuff like Bayergot's Brow that's like, oh, crap. Like, we've been using this for a long time. What do we not have? And then as a tank, we're like, okay, but we've been swapping stances for years. Now we're just not. Like, as a warrior, we just always have a gauge now. So, like, there's a couple of changes that we're having to be like, all right, is this a negative change? Is it positive? How do I use this? And more importantly, yeah, okay, this is all balanced and set up to work with all the Shadowbringers content. But something we had to deal with Heavensward looking back at ARR and with Stormblood looking back at Heavensward and ARR, we're missing skills. We've changed what we do. We've changed how jobs play. You may not have a skill that was designed to clear a quest or clear a boss. The level 50 White Mage quest comes in mind, where the actual strat for it at ARR was to non-stop cast Stone Skin on a target. Well, that got really weird all of a sudden because we didn't have it anymore.
Yeah,
So
I know.
now we're missing a lot of skills. How's that going to work in Realm Reborn content?
From what I've seen, they actually do go back and make the changes to. Like, this is one of the things I've noticed with their attention to detail. I got a lot of abilities also started coming in at early levels, and like, I'm not sure about the balance of it in terms of like how much DPS you can put out, how much you can take. They might just say, okay, these are the target numbers you need to be able to hit, and as long as the job does it, the way that you do it might change. But I know they've actually, like, I've talked before about their attention to detail in terms of dialogue and things like that, or references they're making to things. I have gone back and looked at Quest ones in some of the early extensions, and they actually did go back and make those changes. I was duly impressed.
Okay.
That is good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one last thing that I just remember coming across this as I was clearing out some old gear. They made changes to the retrieval rate of materia. Specifically,
oh yes,
the
they
grade
did mention
6s.
that in the patch notes.
Yep, the grade 6s are now 100%.
That's freaking wild.
I mean, it's probably okay, this is no longer the super best stuff. Go ahead and get it out.
Yeah, I haven't seen what the stats are for 7 and 8 yet. I mean, I'm sure I'll look at it soon, but I can't imagine how much insanely high we're going to be getting when we hit level 80. I mean, are we going to be adding 150 skills to something with one materia?
Hang on. I actually have access to these numbers.
Because I mean, tier 5 was what, 12? Tier 6 was 40.
Twin Tanya, let's go.
Solo.
Face smash Twin Tanya with a book smack. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and he dead in 3 smacks.
Hang on, I can get you numbers.
I'm looking forward to the unsynced content because there are some people that just, I want to clear this. I want this for glamour. I want to know this story, but I don't have the time, the energy, the capability, the gameplay skills, whatever, to do, bleeding edge rating. But I still want to get this cool thing out of Savage. How do I do that?
Maybe I can.
Well, you just wait 2 expansions.
Interesting.
What's that?
So, like, for instance, I'm looking at, say, Heaven's Eye material, which gives you direct hit rate. Grade 6 is a direct hit rate of 40.
Yep.
Grade 7 is 20, and then 8 is 60.
What?
I wonder if they have different success rates on overmelts or things like that. Like, instead of just scaling up the numbers forever, maybe it's something where it's like, it's a smaller thing, but you can also successfully. I don't know.
Because that seems weird. I mean, 6s are going to stay viable then.
Or maybe they're like used in different ways, where it's like, this is the one you use if you're looking for the basic, and you look at this if you're trying to overmelt for super perfect optimal stuff, but you'll spend a bunch of them.
Or you can only put in 7 and 8 on the higher level gear.
That'd be interesting.
I don't know.
As opposed to cramming a bunch of 4s and 5s into our gear, because I've seen people do that, and I've done that. Grab 100 grade 5s and hope to get 2 of them to...
Yeah, on my crafting gear, yeah, but...
Hang on, let me check something here. Because I just noticed a thing on the text, so let me find something to compare to. Where's a grade 5 for that? Okay. So grade 6 and grade 8 cannot be overmelded past the first advanced slot, but grade 7 can.
Oh, okay.
So for stuff that can't be overmelded, it's 6 and 8, and that's 60 and 40. And then for stuff that can, it would be the grade 7 and 5, and that would be 20 versus 12. Okay, so I think that's what's going on here. You've got 7s that can be overmelded a bit further, and so they're a little bit lower, but they're still better than the other stuff that could be overmelded.
Interesting.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's very interesting.
So it does seem like they're keeping, and that's why they added 2 grades, because they want to add an improved grade of overmeldable stuff and an improved grade of not overmeldable.
I'm glad they didn't make it too much higher, though, because going from 12 to 40 was quite a jump.
Yeah, the overmeldable is going from 12 to 20. The not overmeldable is going from 40 to 60.
So I mean, it's a very similar increase in.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense.
I mean, could we not overmeld 6s?
Nope. They can only it says in the description cannot
No.
be melded onto a piece of equipment past the first advancement.
I mean, in Stormblood.
I believe so.
Because I guess I don't recall that, but I never needed. I never put an overmeld. You know.
I remember that because I was looking at it for some crafting and gathering stuff at one.
Okay. Because otherwise that would be way OP if you were to put in 5 grade 6s in a.
And that's why you
melded
couldn't.
Stuff. Yeah. I mean, you could still, if you had the 5 slots, like if you were to get the Chloe book version or the.
But that wouldn't be an overmeld.
No, exactly. But you still put 5 in like that, or the.
All right, and that's one of the
Eureka
reasons
stuff.
why the Chloe stuff was
so very, very expensive. Yes.
Yep, because you could put stats that were in much higher, and it would be 100% success rate.
All right. Let's go ahead and start wrapping this up then.
Yeah, I'm okay with finishing a little early. I would like to get back.
Yeah, I think a lot of people.
I love you guys, but I want to keep going.
I understand. Like I said, I put a lot of time in yesterday, so I'm cool to kind of relax a little bit. Final thoughts.
Welcome to Shadowbringers. It's awesome.
I'm anxious to actually get my physical copy and go through that and look at all the stuff we get, and then get the access to the actual items for the collector's edition.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah. I don't have any collector's editions for this game.
What?
Nope, none.
So
I have all the collector's editions. Anyway, yes.
The writing is incredibly on point. The tragic, the comedic, like they're hitting the right beats. They're doing it just the right thing, giving us a moment to relax, have some comic relief, or have some hopeful things before they hit us with the next really difficult one. They've really created this feeling of a world that's on the brink in a way that it's never felt like before. Like, I'm really feeling the stakes on it. And they killed off one of the more annoying theories that kept going around that the lore mongers had to keep shutting down. And it's goddamn dead, and they confirmed it dead with a character explaining something, and I am so happy that I'm not... I mean, people are probably still going to ask about it, but it is confirmed not canon, and I am so happy.
What theory is that, Seyrr?
The Heidelin Vor theory.
And what does that mean, Seyrr?
Oh, well, vor is a sexual fetish involving being consumed or eaten. Now, if it's happening vaginally, then that's unbirthing. Welcome to Seyrr's Fetish Corner. Why is this a segment?
See, we were replacing the Librarian's Corner with this. Kidding, by the way, for those of you who casually listen to the podcast, we are not actually doing that.
There is a recurring theory which started off as one person, Ethis Asher, saying that he didn't have any support for it, but this was a thing that he, like, his personal headcanon for what he thought was going on.
And because Ethis said it.
Right. And so this involved a thing where Heidelin gets damaged by the calamities and then consumes a shard in order to strength. Ethis himself did say this was not something there was any canonical support for or against. Either way, there was nothing for that. That was just kind of his personal theory, which led to a lot of people repeating it as if this was confirmed fact.
Oh my god, Ethis said it, it's true.
Yeah. Even though, like, Ethis did his due diligence on saying, hey, this is just a headcanon I have going around. I mean, like, we've all got our headcanons. It is one of Anonymous's headcanons that Ishtola and Thancred were once an item, had a breakup, and it's still a little awkward for them, and they'll, like, make occasional reference to it. And it's like, there is no proof for it whatsoever, but if you look at them and the way they interact, oh my...
Yeah, they totally banged.
Yeah. And it's like a thing that's kind of in their embarrassing past for both of them, and they don't dislike each other, but it's like, man, that was awkward.
All right.
It's like, and he also, like, that is his personal headcanon. There is no direct support for it. It's entirely plausible, and I've made it part of my headcanon. But we've all got our headcanon. Just don't take our stuff as gospel truth just because we say it. We've got our own headcanon too.
All right. And for me, like I said, I strongly recommend that you guys enjoy the story. Play it your way.
Good.
Play it your way. I mean, but don't spoil it for anybody else, please. The storyline is so good. The writing is on point. The systems are working great. Don't ruin it for anybody else. Let them play it their way.
Yeah.
We're going to wait
Everything I
on
know of the
spoilers
story-
for it. I think we're going to probably wait till after episode 100.
Yeah.
Or maybe
I at least
episode
want-
100.
I at least want to give it a little more, just because they're resolving or explaining stuff that they've been working on for a long time. So there's a lot of payoff here, and I am that much more cautious about wrecking it.
Yep. I mean, we may talk a little bit about like coming up in 99. We'll probably talk about the dungeons. You know, we'll talk about, you know, some of the systems that we've been able to explore a little bit more of, but we're not going to spoil the story yet. Like I said, maybe 100, maybe 101, depending on what we end up doing for our 100th episode. So yeah, but like I said, the biggest thing is don't spoil it, guys. Let people enjoy it on their own. Even Square Enix is saying, hey guys, you know, be cool. Like I said, even when I'm streaming this, I have #spoiler right in the title. So if you're watching us play, you know what you're getting at. But for you guys listening on the podcast, we're not going to ruin this for you. Go enjoy it, please. So I think that's going to go ahead and do it for this episode then, guys. If you like what you heard, go ahead and follow us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on Google, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if possible, leave us a rating or review. It really does help people find us out there, and lets us know what you think. We really appreciate that. If you really dig this show, you can always consider subscribing to us here at twitch.tv/PhoenixDownRadio. Or you can be a patron out at patreon.com/PhoenixDownRadio, like our amazing friend Aurori Fenrir, who pledges at the $20 level, and we really appreciate that support. But none of it's required. It helps us to cover some of the behind the scenes things, like the hosting costs, allows us to do some giveaways, some fun things, stuff like that. But we just want to hear what you guys think. Any type of support, whether it's emails, likes, tweets and retweets, any of that, it's greatly appreciated because we love interacting with you. If you want to check out our backlog of episodes or any news that we might post out there, you can go to our website, phoenixdownradio.com. If you have questions, want to suggest something for Seyrr for a lore segment, want Taliz to explain what something is in game as far as the food goes, you can email us, podcast@phoenixdownradio.com.
Man, we've got an entire new set of cooking ingredients now. I'm so happy.
Yes,
Yeah,
we do.
Taliz is going to probably have a field day.
Mm-hmm.
They have baguettes now. Baguettes.
I thought, okay, we're closing up the show so that I can get into my recipe book, but
Yes.
it's going to be good.
And if you follow us out on Twitter at PHXDNRadio. Now we're going to go ahead and do the shout outs and where we can find you guys. So who wants to start with that?
I'll go ahead and kill this one real quick. I am at Taliz Marvelous on Twitter. You can follow me there. I post food, cars, Final Fantasy XIV, and general gripes about the anime industry. If you want to follow me on Hyperion, I'm also Taliz Marvelous. I accept most friend invitations because my friends list isn't full, and I like doing a lot of dungeons, so come hang out. It's a good time. Shout outs go to my free company, Unity, who has been an awesome group of folks to play with over the last couple of years. Today, especially, new content is always a blast with friends. So shout outs to Harley, Bannon, and the rest of Unity.
Awesome. Thank you again for joining us this week.
Absolutely.
Seyrr.
All right. So you can find me on Twitter at FFXIV SEYRR, where I mostly post cool stuff that I've been cooking with my friends or random fun things that I found at the library. Shout outs to the other lore mongers who have kept us all kept each other sane with banding about random theories, various shit posting, and hilarious declarations of canon. Also, shout out to my manager, who took me seriously even after I explained to her what it means to yeet something.
Oh dear.
I have the best job, guys.
You kind of do. Not gonna lie.
And shout out to the people who come here, who listen to us, who ask lots of good questions and want to know more about the game, know more about the lore, who give me the reasons to keep researching, to keep finding that info, and to keep telling those stories. I love talking with you guys, and I love it when you come here and you ask questions. Never hesitate to ask. Give me stuff to tell you about.
All right. And I can be found on Twitter at PHXDN_KLAUSS. That's PHXDN_Klauss. Want to shout out to Taliz and Seyrr. Thank you for joining me and taking time away from your busy schedule. I know pulling you away from some amazing content. We'll get back to it here in a little bit. Shout out to everybody watching us here live at twitch.tv/PhoenixDownRadio. We got Ian, we got Nick Nar, Rory, Kane was here for a while. A lot of amazing people. King Hawk 3000, thank you for the follow. Nick Nar, thank you for the resub. You guys are all amazing. We love doing this for you guys, and we're glad that you guys can come and enjoy this with us. Shout out to everybody out on the Reddit, the subreddit, because they're doing a good job on monitoring all the posts to make sure that people are tagging things properly, so we're not getting spoilers out there. Thank you to everybody out on Twitter who is not spoiling things as well, letting people enjoy the game the way they want to. And shout out to Square Enix for actually putting out another amazing expansion for this wonderful game. So we're all having a great time playing it. Let's go get back to it. So for my co-host Seyrr Tomono, for Taliz Marvelous, I'm Klauss Nightbringer, wishing everybody a wonderful evening. Thanks for joining us. Take care.
Phoenix Down Radio is a production of PhoenixDownRadio.com and Illusion Productions. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. In-game content for Phoenix Down Radio is the copyright of Square Enix. Opening music for Phoenix Down Radio is provided by Guilty Gear Rock You. Check out the Metal Chocobo theme cover and many other music videos at youtube.com/Guilty Gear Rock You. Closing music for this episode is provided by Guitar Wanker 90. Please check out their full version of Matoya's Cave and other rock video game covers at youtube.com/Guitar Wanker 90. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of Phoenix Down Radio and its hosts and do not reflect the views of Square Enix.